Good afternoon. My name is Noemi Perez, and I'm doing a video validation for a bed bath. After I check the doctor's order, I introduce myself to the patient. I verify that this is my patient with two forms of ID. I ask for name, last name, and date of birth, and I match those with the patient's bracelet. I then I explain the procedure to the patient. Go ahead and wash my hands and put on some gloves. I gather my equipment and I provide some privacy, which I already have. I have the curtains and I have my equipment here. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is that I want to ask my patient if she would like to use the bathroom. She would like to go to a urinal, or she would like a bedpan. Really depends on the patient. And then I want to put my bed at a working level. So I would put the bed up. I would put my patient comfortable, and I would remove the handrail just so it could be easier to work with. So, demonstration.
Hello, my name is Noemi today we're going to do a video validation on changing the occupied bed. This is the case, section 602. And there's first we're going to do my
Then I would want to remove my patient's soiled gown, but I would first throw the bath blanket over it, and then I would just remove the gown from the bottom, just so that my patient will always be covered. So I would first remove the linen, the soiled linen.
And then next I'm going to provide privacy. I have all my equipment gathered. So
Cover my patient.
If you could just hold on to the top portion, I'm going to pull on the top sheet. Thank you very much. I'm going to just place this in the, hamper. Let's say I have it right here in the corner.
So,
okay. On the working side.
So once I do that, I make sure my patient is covered. I put the handrail up, and I go get some water. I make sure that the water is comfortable temperature, and I touch it just to make sure. But if my patient is able to, I ask the patient to touch the water to see if it's comfortable for them. I would put lotion on the water only if allowed, if necessary. I mean, not if necessary, but if some patients might be have irritation, or they might be allergic to soap, or they just might not want soap. So if they don't want, I would just not use the soap. But if it's okay with them, I would use the soap. So now that I'm back with the water, I would put the handrail back down. I would start with the eye. And what I want to do is I don't want to put soap, so make sure I don't want to put soap in the eye, but I would clean outside the eye, just from inside out. so inside out. And I would rotate the towel to clean the other eye. Yeah. So it's just basically like this. And I would always pat dry wherever I wet. I don't want to keep my patient wet. So just dry and just dry. Then I would just do the forehead, cheeks, ears, nose, and neck. So again, I would just rotate the bath cloth, the washcloth around when I do different areas. So okay, so it's just the forehead. Make sure to remove the hair from around the face. Now you have to be careful if the patient has anything connected to them, just to go around it and not to disconnect anything. And you just want to pat everything dry. Soft, just make sure that you're not hurting your patient. You would also be assessing the skin while you're cleaning everywhere. You would be looking for rash, redness, swelling, irritation, anything. Okay, so once we're done with the face, we're gonna go ahead and do the arm. So the arm, you would just put a towel at the bottom of the arm. Here. And you would remove the back blanket, just like that. And again, you would be careful if there's anything connected to the arm, like an IV bag. Just make sure you put the towel so that if any water drips, it would fall in the towel. You don't want to wet everywhere. So I would start with the forearm, and I would just clean around anything, and I would just clean in the back. And then I would pat dry my patient. Okay, I would then do the top of the arm and the axillary area. Make sure you hold your patient at the joints, and then do a pat dry that area. And then I would do the hands, and you would just you could wash the hands, but you could also soak the hand if necessary. And you would go between the fingers, and you don't cut the nails, but you could clean the nails with the stick. Just clean it, and then you could just dry your hand. Dry between the fingers. At this point, I would just ask my patient if they would like lotion or deodorant, and I would just put the lotion and deodorant on them. I would put lotion in the hands and the bony areas, and that's it. After I'm done with this arm, I would just remove the towel, and I would cover my patient. I would then put the handrail back up because I'm going to do the other arm. So, let's see. Let's put the camera. Just put this down. And just take a towel. I would basically do the same thing I did on the other side. Put a towel under the arm.
Identify myself and explain the procedure to the patient. Created privacy already for the patient. And I've washed my hands.
And I would start again with the same area. I would start with the forearm, work myself up to the top of the arm, to the axillary, and then I will do the hands. So let's start with the forearm.
I'm going to read the sheet.
And then I will just dry it, pat dry it, pat down, and then the top of the arm.
Do you want to have a red crown or
And then I would just do my hands. Again, I will soak the hands if necessary. I will go between the fingers, and I would clean the nails with the stick, but I won't cut the nails. And I'll make sure that my hands are dry, really dry. So once I'm done with the hands, I'm going to do the chest and the abdomen. So I would, again, before that, I would had first lotion and deodorant, and I would put it for the patient. And I would make sure to get the hands and the bony extremities. And now that I'm done with the arm, just remove the towel. Make sure I'm holding the patient at the elbow. Move the towel. Cover the patient. And before I start with the chest and the abdomen, I would actually go ahead and change the water, because water tends to cool down, and I don't want to do this area with cold water on my patient. So I would just change the water to some warm water and make sure that the water is comfortable, and I'll ask the patient to feel the water for the comfort. While I'm doing that, the handrail should be up. But now that I have clean water, put the handrail back down. I come and I just put a towel on top of my patient, and I'm just going to remove the bath blanket from the bottom. Keep my patient covered. I'm just going to. And now I'm just going to first wash my patient's chest. I'm just going to go like this, fold it, and just wash my patient.
No. I will start by washing the face first.
And then I'm just going to pat dry my patient.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'm going to cover my patient. And then I'm just going to as privacy. And then I'm just going to clean the abdomen. Again, while I'm cleaning my patient, I'm assessing everything, assessing the whole skin to see if there's irritation, redness, swelling. So, okay, and then I just pat dry my patient.
Hospital corner. In the box.
After I'm done, I'm just going to cover my patient again. Cover the patient. And I'm just going to remove the towel from the top. Okay. Now I am going to put the handrails up on my patient. And I am going to check the water to see that the water is still warm. If not, I'm going again to replace the water. And I'm doing the legs and feet now.
I'm just going to get rid of the old linens and wash my hands, take off my gloves and all that. And thank you very much.
This here. Here. Okay.
Yeah. Be mindful of any IVs that the patient has.
Alright. So I'm first going to put a towel on my patient's under my patient's leg. I'm going to do it like just kind of like I did the arm. It's just so that the water that drips from the washcloths could drip on the towel. So this. Okay. And then I'm going to start from my ankle to my knee, and then from my knee up, and then my feet. So I'm first going to do my ankle from my knee. I'm going to go here. Ankle to my knee. And then to pat dry. Just pat dry.
I will do it before anything. You introduce to go over some steps.
Once I do that, top of my leg. I just and then I do the feet. I make sure that I go between the toes. I clean the feet completely. I make sure I go between the toes. If I have to soak the feet in water, I'll soak the feet in water. Right. But I must definitely make sure that my toes, between my toes, is completely dry, because people tend to harvest bacteria between the toes. So we don't want our patient to do that. So just pat dry. So once I'm done with this leg, I just remove the towel, cover my patient, and I would go and do the other side.
I think it says it on there.
I would put,
Yeah. I pretended. I just said that that was the last.
I would put a towel under my patient. I would start again from ankle to the knee, from knee up, and then the feet. So I would also ask my patient if they would like any lotion, and I would put lotion on their legs, and I'll make sure to put lotions on their feet or and their dry extremities. Just pat dry.
There's no for these. There's no for these.
And then I'll do the same thing with the feet. I'll make sure that the feet is completely dry. I would soak the feet if I have to.
No, I don't mind. I put everything away. You want me to take it? No,
Dry the
okay,
feet.
I'll bring my stuff. Yeah.
Right between the toes.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do it.
That seems frustrating for me.
Was it? Where was that? Yeah, just down. I think I'll.
And again, I would just apply lotion to the legs and the feet. Make sure my patient is completely moisturized. So then I would remove the towel, just like I did on the other side. And I would cover my patient completely. Okay. Now, I would do my patient's back. So, I would, after I'm done with the feet, I would go ahead and change the water. Make sure my water is comfortable. And then I would just do the back. So, I would ask the patient, I would put this handrail down first. I would ask the patient to rotate and to hold himself from the handrail. And I'm going to put a towel across my patient's body from the neck to the buttock. And it's just going to be like very close to the back so that any water would just drip on the towel. I would
You can do it with a river.
then I would also ask my patient if they don't mind me to go and clean that area. Some patients might not want their nurse to do that area, you know. So I would do from the neck to the back, and I would pat dry my patient.
So are you going to do the sterile field?
I would then do the buttock area.
Do one practice?
And I would again pat dry my patient.
Get one free. That's a good deal.
At this point, I would ask my patient if they would like a back rub with lotion. Who wouldn't want that? So I would just rub my patient's back and buttock area with lotion. And then I would just put my patient back down. But before I do that, of course, I have to remove the towel. Remove the towel, and then put my patient back down. I make sure that my patient is comfortable and covered.
What is he doing now? Ooh, respect.
So now that I did the buttock area, again, I would go and change my water, but I would also change my washcloth because we're doing the perineal area. We want everything new for that. So while I do that, of course, I put the handrail on my patient. Really depends on where the sink is because I also have to put the bed down if I'm leaving my patient alone. But so now that I'm back to do the perineal area, I'm going to cover my patient.
I'm gonna do this real quick, and I wouldn't trust that. Yeah.
And I'm going to clean
Look what I'm doing.
I'm going to clean my patient from front back, like if it was the baby, you know. So it's just a matter of cleaning. It really depends on how soiled your patient is. You want to clean front back, and you want to pat your patient dry. You want to make sure they're dry down there. And if the patient has always want to provide, once you're done, you want to cover your patient because you want to provide privacy. But if your patient has a catheter down there, you want to clean from the two down, and then you just want to clean the perineal area like how you would. And also you want, if they're really soiled, you might want to get a bedpan and just put it under them and just rinse with some water to flush the soils off, and then clean how you would. Remove the bedpan and just clean around how you would. But once you're done with that, basically you would want to make sure that your patient is completely moisturized everywhere in the bony extremities and that they don't have dry skin anywhere. And you want to then dress your patient. So you would get a clean linen, and then you would I would throw it on top, just because you always want to keep your patient covered. And then you would just this. And you will remove the bath blanket.
Doesn't matter, you put it on the patient, right? Make sure, I don't know, somebody put it in this, but just do one right. I never,
And then once your patient is dressed, you will want to put a new linen on the bed. You would want to get rid of the soiled gown and bath blanket and soiled linen from before, and you would just make the bed again with new linen. And you would just make sure your patient is comfortable and it's completely covered. And you would do your patient's hair. If your patient allows you to, you would comb their hair. You would give them back all their personals, and you'll put the patient back at a comfortable position. You put the bed all the way down. You put the handrails all the way up. You provide your patient with the call bell, and you go ahead and you clean all your equipment, and you replace the equipment in the room with new equipment. And then you would go remove your gloves, wash your hands, and you would document your findings.